Hey everybody, Garcia here, and today we're going to be buying and selling produce, trying to make the most money in Merchants of Muziris. In this game, the players are going to be appealing to different characters in this world, trying to acquire different produce cards, manage their hand of resources, and then sell those for coins and also trigger different powers on those cards in order to gain various advantages. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at how the game works. I'm going to show you a brief little overview, and then I'll see you on the other side for some final thoughts. Here we go. Here we're going to be taking a look at a game for 3 players. Everybody begins with 2 produce cards in their hand. There are 4 face up on the market, and then a number of characters depending on the number of players. These 3 are always in play, and then we put 2 more randomly into play for 3 players. Always 1 fewer than the number of players. And these come from a selection of characters. So there are several here that we are not going to be using. I'll give you a quick look at them in a little bit. So, what you are trying to do is get the most coins possible, and you are going to, at the end of the game, once the game end is triggered based on this card, figure out who the richest player is, and they are going to win. This one is also selected randomly from several different ones, and it tells you what you're scoring for, how the game end is triggered, and then any bonuses that might come into play at the bottom. In this case, the game ends when a single player has earned 20 coins or more, and during the end of the game, each player is going to get 2 coins for each of their completed orders. So there you go. So I'll go ahead and start. I have the start player token here in front of me, as well as my own color scoring token. And I am going to place these on a character and take the associated action of that character. So, for example, I might play on this character here that says, it's a customer that says, fulfill an order. What that means is play as many cards as I want to from my hand that match, 1, 2, or 3, that match, and score the appropriate number of coins. In this case, I happen to have 2 red onion cards here. So if we take a look here on the side, if I sold a single one, it would be worth nothing. If I sold 2, it would be worth 3 coins. And if I sold 3 at the same time, that would be 5 coins. So I'm going to sell these 2, and I'm going to earn 3 coins. And then, because I'm the start player, I have another action token. I am going to use this one to play on this card here that says, draw 1 produce card, draw 1 additional produce card for each coin on this character. We'll talk about how coins end up on characters in just a second. So I'll draw 1. I'm going to take 1, put it in my hand. It'll be my the next player's turn. And they have a single 1 because it is not their turn. They cannot play somewhere where there already is a player's action token. So they might, for example, play, let's say over here. They're going to play on that one. It says, add 1 produce card from the market to your hand. And they're going to take this salt and add it to their hand. This is not immediately replenished. We're going to leave it just the way it is. And then we go to the final player, and the final player is going to play out their token. They are going to choose this one. They're going to play that there. And this one says, this advisor, discard 1 produce card from your hand or from the market. Use that produce card's ability. Great. So that means one of these, or one of the ones they're holding, they can discard to do the ability on the bottom there. So, for example, they might discard the saffron here. And the saffron says, draw 1 produce card. You are the first player next round. Fantastic. They're going to discard that. They are going to draw 1 produce card. And they're going to be the start player, which means they'll get the start player token. So that's it. That was everyone. Now, before we move on to the next round, a couple of things. We need to replenish the market back up to 4 cards. And we are going to put 1 coin on whichever character out here was not chosen. So we'll put 1 coin on that. Everyone takes back their respective colors. And then this would normally go to the next player. In this case, however, it goes over here because of that saffron being triggered. And we begin the next round. So you know all of these advisors now. Let's take a quick look at the other ones that are set aside for now. We have the broker here. Add 2 different produce cards from the market to your hand. Refill the market. So this will refill the market before the end of the round. And we've got this one here. Gain 1 coin, fulfill an order with 1 produce card. Okay. And then this one, draw 1 produce card and gain 1 coin. If you were the last player this round, draw 1 additional produce card or gain 1 additional coin. So there you go. Very nice. And then the different produce, I'll show you a couple of them. So for example, honey, if you trigger the power on it, draw 1 produce card, fulfill an order. We've got here the cucumber, gain 1 coin. You may return 1 of your fulfilled orders to your hand. So you could fulfill that order again, right? Lime, which I'm holding here. Add 1 produce card from the market to your hand and then draw 1 produce card. This is going to net you 2 cards if you trigger the power on this. And again, ideally, you want to discard it from the center for its ability. So it's not even 1 card you're letting go from your hand if you do it that way. And there are a bunch of different things. Pomegranate. Draw 1 produce card, discard all produce cards from the market, and refill the market. We've got mango here. Add all produce cards of a single type from the market to your hand. I'll show you one more here. Eggplant. Simply says, gain 2 coins. Fantastic. So there you go. That's how the game works. And then these over here, I already explained that one. But there are a couple of different triggers. The game ends when a single player has 6 or more completed orders. It ends when the number of completed orders equals or exceed the number of players times 5, so 15 in this case, among all of us. And then this one, the game ends the second time the deck is shuffled. That one's a little weird because if there are fewer players, it can definitely outstay its welcome with this one. So not my favorite. The other ones are all fine. And like I said, they'll have a little bonus at the end for some extra points once you're scoring up the whole thing. So there you go. That should give you an idea of how everything moves together here. Let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. All right, there it is. Let's go ahead and talk about this one. So I'll give you some of my thoughts here on it. Overall, I really like this game. I like the way it looks a lot. I like the way it plays. I like that it feels like it does a lot with very little. And I enjoy the different powers and the way that it manages to make it both about hand management and about this worker placement sort of, mini game that's going on in the center of the table. So I like that. The combination of those things works for me. The different abilities, all of that stuff. My main drawback here is some of the thematic ties and the what's going on in the game. This idea of the fruits and the produce and the different, salt, whatever, all of it being tied to magical powers is a stretch, right? It quickly fades away for me, so it's not that big a deal. I'm just saying that the thematic ties to what's going on are a little stretched. But that's pretty much it. That's my only main drawback. Oh, and then I think that 1 scoring card, as I said, I think is... it doesn't work very well. You have to burn through the deck twice, but the deck size is not modified. So if you're playing with 2 players, it takes a long time, way too long, and I won't use that one with 2 players. I'll put that in if I'm playing with 4 players, maybe with 3 players. It should have said something on the card, like don't do this with just 2 players at the table. But that's pretty much it. Everything else I do like. The aesthetics, I think, are spectacular. I love the way this game looks. I really do. The illustrations are great. The text on it is clear. It all works out well for me. I like the different characters. I like that you do have a rotating cast of characters, depending on setup. You can always, pull some out and put some others back in if you want to change it up. I like that. I like the replayability here. There are a lot of little things at play. That's what makes it replayable. The fact that the cards in the market will be different from game to game or round to round, so triggering a special power will give you access to different things. You can always discard from your hand too. You can tackle different things, right? So you can change a lot of little things, and the game feels different each time you play it. That's great. Replayability is quite solid here. The game length is nice. Again, except for that 1 card, the game does not outstay its welcome, and it works out well. You always feel like you're pursuing something new. You can see the end of the game coming. I like it. The ease of play here is good, except for the rule book could have been a little bit clearer for me. some examples would have been nice in the rule book. As it is, it's fine. I did understand the rule book and how to play from reading it. It was just for a game that's really ultimately fairly simple, it could have been a little easier. And then lastly, tactics and strategy gets a big thumbs up from me as well. Like I said, that hand management is where it's at. Using powers that are going to push your plan forward, denying your opponents something that you are thinking they want to pursue is also interesting. The whole thing works out well. There's a lot of reacting. There's a little bit of, long-ish term plans in play, but mostly there's a lot of reacting and a lot of interesting and clever tactics at play here. And I enjoy that a lot. I like that there are multiple ways to arrive at the same goal. And I enjoy that sort of activity from these small card games, games that give you alternate paths to victory, I'll call it. So there you go. Really neat stuff. So let me go ahead and give you my bottom line here. Here it goes. Quick turns and a shifting array of possibilities make for a game that's not just attractive, but a pleasure to play as well. This is going to get an 8 out of 10 from me, which means it's going to get a seal of approval. Again, I do have a couple of small issues with the game, but ultimately they are things I can overlook because I so very much enjoy how attractive the game is and just that it is fun to play. It immerses me, even though the theme, like I said, is a little bit of a stretch. The gameplay and what's going on immerses me. So there you go. Merchants of Muziris gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Seal of approval. Thanks, everybody, for checking this out. My name is Z Garcia, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.